Now, this year also marks 26 years since Hoi An Ancient Town was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List on December the 4th, 1999. Over the past decades, the centuries-old trading port has been restored and revitalized, becoming one of Vietnam's most iconic cultural destinations. On this occasion, local authorities are taking a close look at the town's conservation efforts amid a year of major changes. And our reporter Hoi An was in Hoi An to deliver us the full view.
2025 has been one of the most eventful periods for heritage conservation in Hoi An. Vietnam's major administrative restructuring has changed how the ancient town is managed. At the same time, the new law on cultural heritage came into force, requiring the town to adjust its protection regulations. Adding to the pressure, historic rainfall and floods this year submerged large parts of the old town.
After the administrative restructuring, we need to develop a new master plan for preserving Hoi An, which must be approved at the government level. All relevant legal documents from the former Quang Nam administration will also need to be adjusted, and the plan must meet UNESCO's requirements. But regardless of these changes, the work of managing and conserving the heritage must continue.
Currently, Hoi An's conservation plan toward 2035 is being formulated. Looking ahead, the city aims to fully restore all degraded heritage sites, complete comprehensive scientific documentation for its cultural assets, and expand protected zones to safeguard the integrity of the World Heritage Area.
Just a few weeks ago, the ancient streets of Hoi An were deeply underwater. Yet, tourists have quickly returned since then, a sign of the town's resilience and readiness to face climate change and extreme weather. In this new context, the future of Hoi An will depend on how well it can protect the past while adapting to the challenges of uncertainties. Hai Nam from Hoi An for Vietnam Today.
Now, to better understand Hoi An's current conservation work and what should be prioritized in future preservation plans, we now turn to Mr. Jonathan Baker, UNESCO's representative in Vietnam, for more insights. Hello, and my first question is, what's your assessment of the conservation of the Hoi An Ancient Town since it was inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1999, especially given the increasing severity of climate change and extreme weather in recent years?
Since its inscription, Hoi An has really been a role model of conservation in the region. I want to highlight maybe a few things that stand out. So the first is that the Hoi An has put in place really very clear governance and regulations, and the governance plan is really tied closely to sustainable tourism. In addition to that, the living heritage approach, the fact that residents continue to inhabit and use heritage buildings, they're keeping different traditions and festivals and crafts, the fact that the community life is active rather than it being, like a museum. Another point I want to highlight is the strong community government partnership. The fact that neighborhood committees work directly with the Heritage Center on restoration, on public space use and event organization. And this really plays a great role in creating genuine shared ownership. But of course, as you've pointed out, climate change and extreme events have become a real issue in Vietnam and in Hoi An in particular. And we've seen this in the historic October 2025 flood that submerged more than 80% of households. And UNESCO has been working with the Hoi An Management Board and with Vietnam to prepare an application for international assistance mechanism from the World Heritage Fund.
And besides tangible relics, cultural activities, and intangible heritage values, Hoi An has also been revived and promoted. So how has this benefited local tourism and community?
So community-led events such as a full moon festival and traditional boat races reinforce social cohesion and ensure that heritage is transmitted across generations, which is what we need to ensure sustainability in the site and sustainable conservation of the site. Of course, there's also inclusive economic opportunities. So cultural tourism creates stable jobs in the area of crafts and hospitality, of course, and gastronomy. And women in particular have benefited from expanded roles in local craft and service sectors. Around 70% of visitor fees revenue is directly reinvested into restoration and public facilities. Hoi An is a real platform for creativity. The revival of crafts and folk practices has expanded local cultural industries and given artisans more space to innovate. And so this combination of heritage, of creativity, and of community is also why Hoi An was designated as UNESCO Creative City of Crafts and Folk Arts in 2023.
And as the plan for the conservation and development of Hoi An Ancient Town towards 2035 is being formulated, what key factors should be taken into consideration in the current context?
Climate resilience and resilience to extreme events must be central in the way that Hoi An sees its conservation and development in the next 10 years. The sustainable tourism and the quality of life of the inhabitants needs to be balanced. Tangible heritage and creativity need to remain at the heart of the plan. Cultural practices, crafts, and festivals that are really key to make Hoi An what it is today need to be continued. And of course, within the framework of UNESCO's Creative City. And finally, another issue that I'd like to highlight is the new administrative classification as an urban zone. This requires a clear, unified heritage government. So we're delighted to continue to work very closely with Hoi An in the years to come.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Jonathan Becker, for your insights.